Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I am your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination in the entire world. And if it's not yours, it's going to be soon, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're just listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the La Palapa group of restaurants right here in Puerto Vallarta. La Palapa and the El Dorado restaurant are on the south side of town, right down on the beach, and if you play your cards right, you can catch Alberto Perez singing and playing the Samba de Puerto Vallarta, just like I did the other night while enjoying dinner under the stars with my toes in the sand right at the water's edge with the view of the Los Muertos Pier lit up right in front of me. It was so romantic, you guys. It was so Puerto Vallarta, and if you haven't been there yet, you just get on down there. Really, seriously, you're just missing out. This week, I have a real treat for you. But first, let's see what's happening in Puerto Vallarta this week. And we're in April now, April 2nd, 2017. Now, as you may or may not know, the Puerto Vallarta airport is going through some remodeling right now, so not everything's really hunky-dory. The Mexican bank-affiliated ATM machines that used to be in the lobby of the airport and then were taken away during the remodel, well, they're finally back. They're back in the lobby of the airport. And word has it that there's at least 2 machines back. And I want to thank Yael for, he works at the airport, and he gave me the scoop. And I'm going to have him come on the show and talk to us about what he does. He's an airplane dispatcher, and he also he's starting to do, he says, some YouTube channel videos where he talks about Puerto Vallarta and, well, kind of does the kind of thing that I do here. So I'm going to have him on, and we're going to talk to him about that. He also is into restaurants, and he's going to be focusing on micro restaurants, he says, that have flavors that we probably have never tasted before. Really? Well, I want to know about this. So, he also says that he's going to provide information on how the flights are doing, especially on the weekends when, it's pretty sketchy. So this is going to be a really, really interesting conversation that we're going to have with him, and I'm looking forward to meeting with him in May. Now, once again, because you're going to have those ATM machines working, well, you can go ahead and exchange your money there. Go ahead and use your ATM machine, your ATM card in that machine, and get some pesos so you can buy your travel voucher for your taxi or your van to your hotel or wherever you happen to be staying. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you need to listen to my episode number 2 and number 3 of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show, where I talk about all those important items and more. So listen to them, read the show notes, and catch up if you haven't already. And if you'd like to watch a cool video that I made, which is actually kind of a primer for those of you who don't really know what to expect when you arrive at the Puerto Vallarta airport, well, you need to see it. And I'll have a link to it in my show notes for this episode number 13, so check it out, and it'll help you understand, and it'll help you prepare for what to expect. Don't get caught in the shark tank. Just saying, boys and girls. Now, you listeners are really coming through with some great suggestions. The website was down last week and I missed a podcast, but you all stepped up and reached out to me. And I want you to know you're coming through with some great questions and some great suggestions, and I just want to say thanks. Thanks for reaching out, and thanks for all of your positive feedback. It's really, really thoughtful. Now, first, there was a wonderful review. It popped up on iTunes, and it's from Ms. Maloya Ray. And Ray says, a must-listen for all new and seasoned travelers to our beautiful bay. As a Puerto Vallarta fan for at least 30 years, I've learned and enjoyed so much. Keep up the good work. Can't wait for the new episodes. Thanks so much. And thanks a lot, Ray. Thank you so, so much for that great review on iTunes. And then I got another email from listener Linda, who writes, Hi, I've listened to a few of your episodes, and I just listened to the one about bus travel, so thanks for doing these. I have a topic idea. It's regarding salaries. Now, I've read that people working at hotels, for example, make the equivalent of $7 US a day. This doesn't make sense to me. Where do the people shop? I know they might not shop in the tourist areas where prices are high, but how can they afford clothes and food, a pop, a bag of chips? Even a couple of bus rides a day would put a serious dent into their daily wage. I've seen locals shop at Lay's. Do they get a discount? How much would a cashier at Lay's get paid? I'm just trying to make sense of all this. I always tip the service staff, and I assume a lot of people also do that, so that would at least help them increase their salaries, but not by much. Just curious. Well, Linda, I talked with our guest who's going to be coming on this podcast today, Eduardo, about your question. And if you're listening, and I know you will be, he's going to give you his best answer to your questions. Now, as I understand it, the minimum daily wage in Mexico is like $4.50 a day. Just saying. So, Eduardo is going to fill us in on how they make ends meet in Mexico. And then I got an email from Ray. Maybe it's Ms. Maloya Ray. Anyway, he says, first off, let me introduce myself. My name is Ray, and I'm from Wisconsin. My wife, Sherry, and I feel the same way that you do, and many others feel, about Puerto Vallarta. It was my wife and I first trip together when dating back in 2001, and we've been coming back almost every year since. Hey, that sounds familiar to me, Ray. Anyway, we travel to other locations sometimes, but always make time to return to Puerto Vallarta. Through the years, we've met many friends, both local and north of the border. We enjoy some of our old favorites and always find new places of interest. As time goes on, we're lucky to be able to spend more and more time there. We're up to 2 weeks. Wow, that's pretty good. We're very lucky, but we always look forward to returning after we get home. Thank you for your shows. I enjoy listening to them. I know that you asked for suggestions, so I wanted to sit down and type up a few things about their favorites. So some of our favorite places in Puerto Vallarta are, so I'm going to have these in my show notes, you guys. Anyway, Ray says he likes Twisted Palms Lounge. He says that Al mixes the best drinks in Puerto Vallarta, in our opinion, and he's a good friend. So that's a little tip for you guys, Twisted Palms Lounge, and Al, who mixes the drinks. Derby Burger. If you want to eat like you're back in the States, don't forget to order a shake. I've got to agree with you, Ray. I love Derby Burger. They make a perfect patty, and their fries are fantastic. So, and they also make they make sweet potato fries, which are pretty cool. 2 taco stands that he frequents are El Flaco and the one by Archie's Walk. He's been going to that one for years. He says they remember him when he shows up, but realize that he's never asked the name of the place, so that's pretty funny. His wife just informed him that it's listed as Tacos El Cuñado. Okay. And so that's Tacos El Cuñado. That's one of Ray's favorite taco stands. And last year we hiked with Al from Twisted Palms and his friends from Boca to Las Animas. and they ate and drank at El Caracol, and they had a great time. Let's see, what else he says? We make a point to watch the sunset every night from our condo or one of the many places on the beach. And some of their favorite places on the beach are Langostinos. And I'm sure that you know about my webcam that I have there from the Langostinos webcam right on my website. Check it out. Still catch it at the Sea Monkey a few times a visit. So he likes the Sea Monkey. And then lastly, he enjoys getting out in the morning and walking to Ymir to pick up a pastry for his wife to go with her coffee. Thanks again for your work on the show. If you have any future ideas for a show and are looking for listener input, let me know. And he says, thank you very much. So Ray, thank you very much for reaching out and sharing all of those experiences with me and my listeners. They truly appreciate it. I'm going to have Ray's suggestions in my show notes for this podcast, lucky number 13. With that in mind, let's get to our guest, shall we? This was a fun interview because I love this guy, and you're going to love him too. And his name is Eduardo Solorzano. And Eduardo is an artist. He is a professional photographer, and he's old school. He is really a great photographer. Now, if you've been to my website, or if you've seen the album art for the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show, you've already seen his work. That's his photograph. And I'm so grateful for him letting me use that photo for my show. Eduardo, he's my brother from another mother for sure. I mean, he's such a fun guy. And he's a real mensch. Now, I wanted Eduardo to tell you a little bit about what he does here in Paradise. And I also wanted to have a chance to ask a local, where do locals go when they want to have a great meal? And where would a local suggest a visitor to Puerto Vallarta go that may be a little bit unusual, or a place that naturally a tourist wouldn't take the time to see and discover? So let's join Eduardo Solorzano in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and get this scoop from our boots on the ground. Eduardo. Today, I am joined by Eduardo Solorzano, and Eduardo is a professional photographer. In fact, when you look at my website and you look at my album art for the show, the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show, Eduardo's photo is what you see, and he allowed me to use those photos, and thank you so much for that, Eduardo. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, how are you guys? Nice to see you by the lines of the web.
Yes, yeah, we're doing a Google Hangout, so actually Eduardo can see me today. And Eduardo is at home. He's in Puerto Vallarta, so you're going to hear all kinds of stuff in the background, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, we got guacamayas in my neighbor here.
You got what? What is that?
A couple of guacamayas, like big birds.
Oh, okay, like a
parrots,
guacamaya is a big
color
bird.
ones.
Okay,
Yeah.
beautiful. All right, so yeah, birds are loud. So listen, Eduardo, you're a photographer. You're a professional photographer. Tell my listeners about yourself. What was your path?
Okay.
We're gonna get away from the photographer. We're gonna get back to the photographer in a minute. But what was your path that brought you to Puerto Vallarta?
Well, look, I was born in Guadalajara, which is like the main city in the state of Jalisco. And then at about 6 years old, my family moved to Mexico City, and I lived there like 40 years. I do all my stuff. I study medicine. Could you believe that?
No.
I didn't finish. It was the 60s, so it was kind of, I quit school and dropped out.
Yeah. Okay, good.
And then one of my friends on the school has a small darkroom. So for me, it was like, wow, what is this? Wow. It blew my mind. So I decided to start doing photography, just for the magic of a darkroom. How do you develop a picture? Wow, So then I quit school, and my mother said, okay, I don't want a lazy people here. You can do whatever you want, but just don't stay at home and, do your stuff. Mm-hmm. Then I started moving on. My new passion was photography, and I started learning, and I worked for another photographers. I was assistant, I climbed my way up. And then finally I did my studio, and it was very cool. For years I worked for major advertising agencies, Walter Thompson, Leo Burnett, all the stuff that was in Mexico. I did a lot of automobile, publicity, advertising, food, hotels, architecture. And then, we grow old, our kids live home, they had their own life. So my wife and I decided to move out of a big city, which Mexico City is.
Yeah.
We couldn't stand it. We were there because of the kids, but now. So I always come back to my mind that I'm born in Jalisco, and my best beach is Vallarta. So we decided to come home again for me. And then, of course, I start finding clients and, doing my stuff. And good hell, I started working for Lifestyles, Vallarta Lifestyles magazine. It's been here for years. Mm-hmm. And that started me connecting with real estate people and, hotels, restaurants. And then I started doing my business again. And I'm very happy because it's no hassle, no stress, no pollution. It's amazing.
Vallarta must be a wonderful place to work and live.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. If you're thinking of making a lot of money, I should stay in Mexico because there was all the major advertising stuff. But I didn't need that much. I just need to have a nice life, a relaxed life, and enough to have pay my bills. Sure. And then that's when I'm here. And then the most 20 beautiful years of my life has been here, man.
Wow, wonderful. So when we talk about the photography that you do, you say you do real estate photography, yes, and you take pictures of food. Yeah, in Mexico, I used to work, for all agencies, and I do all the studio. I like studio shots. And also, they hire me for, hotels and architectures. They want portfolio their homes. Mm-hmm. So I developed a good feeling of architecture, food. And when I came here, that was only, there was no automobile industry or, product industry. This was just tourism, real estate, and restaurants. And then, I wasn't home, I like to do that kind of photography. And that's what I do now, just that. And I'm working now, as my time is getting on getting older. I'm doing my own art photography now, like things I see just for me and black and white and like going back to the beginnings of photography. Nice. But that's just for a hobby for now. I hope sometime I can do a show or something. Well, I have some beautiful artwork from you, I got to say. Yeah, thank you, buddy. So let me ask you a couple questions, because now, afterwards we're going to have people, find you. We'll get your information and all that other good stuff. Cool. Great. For people that are coming, though, to visit Vallarta, mm-hmm. Is there any kind of photography that you can do for them? Well, I in fact, I do for small groups, like families that rent a house and they want have a good portrait of the family, because maybe they don't see each other in a year or two, once in Chicago and others in Florida. And so when they come here and spend a holiday, sometimes they call me and, hey, we want a family portrait. And then that's a nice job because everybody's happy. And I do my best doing a nice portrait of, groups and the kids and the grandpas and, not weddings, though. I don't like that. I can do portrait of the bride and groom if you want, but I don't like the social part of, running around and, smile, please. I never did that. I just do portrait. In that case, there's a lot of pressure for weddings, too. It really is. Yeah, and so I just try to do what I like and what I do better, Okay, so... Gee, are you able to find a nice backdrop while you're in Puerto Vallarta? No, I'm kidding. Of course, that's the nice thing about being in Puerto Vallarta. For studio, right? You don't need a stinking studio. You've got this beautiful, beautiful backdrop wherever you are. Which is you great. Can go the jungle or ocean or rocks or sand. You've got everything here. Yeah, so that is not a problem for you to find that perfect backdrop. Not at all. All right. Yeah, of course. All right. Well, cool. All right. So keep that in mind, everybody, that if you need his services, I will have his contact information on the blog, and we'll talk about that at the end of the show. Well, I have you here, Eduardo, because you're local, and I want to
Yep.
talk to you a little bit about what a local would do in town. So, for example,
Okay.
let me ask you something. Let's go to food because everybody goes to food. Tell
Sure.
us what's your favorite restaurant for breakfast, let's say, and maybe you can break it up into different kinds of price ranges, like cheap and mid range and higher end and stuff. But
Okay.
what do you like?
Look, well, I love my Mexican food. I always love chilaquiles, enchiladas, all the whole stuff. But a good idea for knowing good, healthy, clean, not cheap at all. I mean, and fun to have a breakfast. You can go to the market. There are how do you call that? Handcrafts,
Yeah,
artisan
artisan.
market,
Yeah,
which is
artisan.
right downtown.
Right.
And the market in the second floor, they have a lot of small restaurants run by families,
Yeah.
and they beautiful, delicious, very simple Mexican food, tasty. And you have the Cuale River on the on the side. I mean, it's not like a fancy place, but you eat very well and very cheap.
Right. And now
And then if you want to,
now Eduardo, that's the central. That's like where they have. It's like the hugest swap meet, right? I mean, they've got these huge a bunch of booths and stuff downstairs, and you're just talking about upstairs from there, right?
yep, exactly.
Okay.
In front of in the Cuale
Yes.
Bridge where everybody goes. Yeah, it's right there upstairs.
Yep, I've been there. Yes, nice.
Okay, and then if you want to like a more traditional breakfast and not too expensive, Fredys Tucan is fine in or Las Altas, Basilio Vadillo,
Yeah.
the romantic area. That's very cool. They have hot cakes, chilaquiles, they have nice set for breakfast, and it's not out of pocket,
Right.
And then if you want a very nice, very gourmet breakfast, you can go to Coco's Kitchen, which is also in the romantic zone.
Okay.
It's Calle Pulpito.
Uh-huh.
It's very nice, very, it's a little more expensive, but it's a patio with big trees and, nice, very nice service.
So
That would be cool.
if you were going to go to Coco's, what would you order?
Oh, I love the green chilaquiles. I'm a passion of chilaquiles, man.
So
And
when you go there, that's what you order. You get the chilaquiles.
Yeah, I get my chilaquiles with beans on the side and nice coffee and orange juice, fresh squeeze. Beautiful.
Great. Wonderful.
But there's everything, there's kinds of fancy meat with I don't know. But I always order the same. When I go to a place and I like something, I always go to that place to eat that.
Isn't that the case? And I think you're not alone, Eduardo. I mean, we're all that way. I think.
Yeah.
So,
And then,
yeah, what about for lunch?
yeah, exactly. I was telling for lunch, there's a very, very famous place here. They have like 8 locations around the bay. It's called Ocho Tostadas.
Ah, okay. I've heard of
It's
that.
like-
I've never eaten there.
Okay, they have fresh seafood, all kinds, cocktails, shrimp, marlin, smoked marlin tostada. Well, delicious, and it's not expensive at all. It's been for years, so it's very, famous, clean, fresh food, good season. And they have 8 locations. I couldn't tell you where, but you got to check your, 8 tostadas with
Right.
an 8 number.
Right.
And they have, all kinds of seafood, delicious, and my middle price. And then if you really want to go and have a nice view or spend the morning or evening, in the ocean with a nice dinner or lunch, a late lunch, you can go to La Palapa. Of course, you know very well La Palapa.
Oh yeah.
And you can spend a beautiful day there having drinks and then the ocean and lunch beautifully. You can also dine there, but for lunch, I think I like it very much.
Sure, and it's reasonable for lunch too, and dinner is
Yeah.
also reasonable. I mean, by American standards, but
Yeah, for American standards, and especially now with the peso giving you more, guys.
yeah. Well, although we're kind of evening out all of a sudden here.
I don't know. I don't get that one.
I said it seems like things are settling down a little bit. Looks like.
Yeah, a little bit, 2 pesos. So it's okay. I mean, I prefer that you guys come.
Yeah, right. Bring more pesos. Exactly.
Bring
right.
more dollars, man.
That's right. Absolutely.
And for dinner, well, of course, we met at Bitea, that you haven't been there, and I'm surprised. I like it this time better than before, because maybe what I asked was delicious, or the company of you, man.
Ah, you're very nice.
So I could tell you that the Bitea is a nice middle price, nice place with the ocean right in front.
Right on the Malecon.
Also, if you want some Italian gourmet, expensive kind of, in the marina, which is a nice view with boats and stuff, you can go to Portobello.
Portobello, okay.
It's been here for years too. It's very famous, very wow, Italian, And of course, the dinner more famous in Vallarta is Café des Artistes.
Oh, yes.
Chef Thierry Blouet's, like head of chefs in Vallarta, and he's very famous and worldwide renowned. So you can have a nice, fancy French Mexican dinner, very well serviced, and super nice.
Amazing.
That's like, of course, if you want to take your car or go to Bucerias, I can recommend you my favorite of all for dinner.
Please,
Mark's Bar and Grill.
Mark's Bar and Grill in Bucerias. Okay, so tell me about that. When you go to Mark's, what do you do? What do you get?
Oh man, at least they start with a pizza bread with rosemary and garlic, just for tips and drinks. Oh man, and then I asked for the black olive pasta with pesto. Oh man, the girl, I mean, it's my age. The is from New Zealand, so she has. All the world fusion, Asian, and it's so delicious food, and it's not like like Café des Artistes expensive. No.
Right.
And believe me, it's delicious. It's full in season. It's packed full because it's a small place. So if you are around Bucerias, if you gotta try a dinner, go, man. It's delicious.
And it's
very
called Mark's. And you go, and you'll drive all the way to Bucerias for that, won't you?
Yeah, I can do that perfectly. It's worth the trip. It's 40 minutes, not much, but it's worth it. Really, really worth it.
Right, sure. So right. So those are your favorites for dinner. Now you just gave me one for lunch. That was the. Well, no, you did. You gave me more than that.
No. You know what is my best for lunch, mid-price?
Yeah.
I didn't tell you. Barracuda.
Oh, okay. So on the beach.
On the beach, near the Hotel Buenaventura, in the entrance of town, when you enter town.
Yes.
To the right, there's delicious seafood also. Very nice, fresh, well-priced, seasoned divinely. And it's right on the beach. It's beautiful.
Neat. Yes, it's a great spot. Definitely a great spot.
Great.
And there's actually beach there. There's actually sand there. I mean,
you can eat on the beach, and you can dine or lunch, both. So it's great.
Great. All right. So that's the food. So most visitors.
Sorry.
Wait. Oh, there's more. There's more. Wait.
There's just one more favorite restaurant I didn't tell you.
Okay.
Could be for dinner only.
Okay.
Mid-price, Archie's Wok, Thailand food. Oh man, if you want Thai, if you like Asian fusion, the owner Archie was the personal chef for John Huston, the movie director.
Yes.
And they came to film The Night of the Iguana. And Archie, the chef, fell in love with Vallarta. Then when John Huston died, or I don't know, he come back and do this restaurant who's been here also for more than 20 years. And if you're an Asian food fan, you don't miss that place. Archie's Wok, downtown also.
Now,
romantic area.
Is Archie still with us?
No, he's not. But the wife and kids, his son is now the chef. So it's
okay. So it's passed on through the genes.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very nice. Also, if you're going to go in season, man, it's packed full, people outside for hours. So
really?
Make a reservation.
Yeah. Okay. So you people that need to get your Asian fix while you're in Puerto Vallarta, if you have had enough Mexican food, then
That's
check out Archie's.
yeah. Okay, that's all I can tell you about food. Restaurant. No?
Okay.
But if you want to know what we really do every day, like most
Yeah,
of
that's
locals,
really what I want to know. I want to know that.
street food, man. I mean, it's Mexico. It's a taco stand all over the place. They are good. They are bad. But I can tell you, there's three places that you shouldn't miss.
Okay.
I see a lot of Americans eating there. So one is in the day near the stadium. Sheraton Hotel.
Yes.
There's a road that goes around the stadium, and there's a small little taco place called Ruli. Ruli. Ruli.
Ruli.
Tacos Ruli, like Raul,
Okay.
but
Okay.
Ruli. Delicious, man. We've been eating there for more than 15 years. Tacos and sandwiches and stuff.
Okay.
Very clean, very delicious. They're just in the street.
Okay.
Delicious.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
And of course, in the night, because they don't open the day, Pepe's Taco. Very famous near the gas station downtown.
It's called Betis?
Pepe's. Pepe?
Oh,
Joe's
Pepe's Taco.
Best. We have a kind of how do you call it? Pastor tacos, which is like a copy of Arab piles. How do you call that? Trompos.
Arrachera.
Well, it's delicious, and they open from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So it's the favorite place for the after party.
That's the late night stop. Now, where did you say that was?
In front of the gas station, the main gas station downtown, which is the only one.
Right, sure. There's just one. As you're entering downtown, it's right there.
Exactly. As you're entering, at your left is the gas station. Right in front, it's the Pepe's Taco. Delicious for years also. They used to have, or I think they still have one in Cabo, another branch, and they've been for years. It's very good taco, and if you're kind of drinking and you want to just get settled down your stomach, that would be the place.
and that's the place for tacos al pastor.
Yes, sir. Very good. And also, steak and gringas, they call like pastor with cheese and quesadillas. Very nice, very nice.
Very cool. And there's another one you said?
No,
just the two.
Those are like the taco stands.
Those are your favorite tacos.
Yes, of course. If you want my favorite restaurant of all, Vallarta area, for lunch and for good Mexican Vallarta seafood, it's called Titis, like Titis.
Yeah.
Titis.
Where's Titis?
It's in Carretaderas. You gotta go out and cross the big bridge. Going out to Nuevo Vallarta, and in the first exit, you just go and there's a small town, and you ask for Titis. Everybody knows it's a very small. I mean, not small. It's like a big place. It's been here for years. You find a lot of local people, rancheros with their hats, and also tourists sometimes.
Yeah,
and it's. Like for 120 pay, come on, you can have half a kilo of camarones cooked deliciously fresh with a kind of different sauces. And mantarraya tacos, beautiful.
Wow.
And drinks, of course. And that's like a secret, a best kept secret, because it's not easy to find. But that's if somebody wants to really eat not tourists,
Okay, so
delicious.
But you'll find a couple tourists that kind of wander in there, yeah?
Yeah, sure, because they have Nuevo Vallarta like 5 minutes, so most of the guides now are taking them there. I told the owner,
the secret's out, right?
I told the owner not to increase your prices because you're having tourists, because then we were not going to be here.
Right, yeah, and that happens too, doesn't it? I mean, that happens sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, so this has been okay. I mean, he's been just raising the prices as
All right. Well, listeners, to take note when you go and check out Titis. Yeah, that sounds kind of funny. Yeah. We go check out the Titis. I have to say, tell me how you guys like it. Okay, I'm gonna be in town. I'm gonna be in town next month, Eduardo. You and I are gonna go there. Okay.
Oh, cool. Sure.
All right, cool. All right, that's a great tip.
That's
Thank
about
you
food.
For that, man. All right, I love it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so most visitors, they're familiar. I should say a lot of my listeners are familiar with the downtown area. Some of them are familiar with the hotel zone. Some of them are familiar with Bucerias. But what is the most common thing that you would say that a visitor to Puerto Vallarta might be missing that you would like to maybe bring to their attention?
Well, they have to take. They are like 1 hour moving from town, no? So you need a transport. Of course, San Sebastián del Oeste is very famous. It's a small, old mining town, and like a couple of hours, hour and a half up to the mountains. They have tours, all kind of tours. They have even an airplane tour, a small airplane tour, or trucks, Vallarta Adventures and all that guys. It's a very nice place. The way the Mexicans lived centuries ago, it's very nice.
Great.
And it's like an hour and a half. It's not a big deal. You're going to love it. And in winter, it's cold. Let me tell you, if you're going to stay overnight, they have nice hotels. It's chimney. I mean, cold,
chilly. So San Sebastian.
Yes, that's a must because it's for Americans and Canadians and foreigners. It's a beautiful example of what Mexico really is, the whole town.
Could you do that in a day? Can you do that as a day
trip?
Or does it
it's
have to
a
be
day trip. No, you can drive 1.5 hours and eat there and then come back at the evening. No problem. That's what I do always. If you love the place, you can stay in a lot of small hotels overnight if you want to. But you can go in a day and back.
Okay.
No problem.
And when you go there, do you have a favorite place that you eat?
Oh, I don't remember the name. You just asked for the Italians.
Oh, the Italian restaurant. Yes, that's the one that Gary Beck told me about.
Man.
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, that's amazing. I mean, really, well, home Italian cooking. The guy is Italian. The wife is from there, from San Sebastián. They grow their own vegetables. No. If it's still there, I hope so.
Yeah, I think
it was very famous.
I'm pretty sure it's still there. Great.
Delicious. That's also another place. I know San Sebastián a long time ago. I would just go and drive 3 hours to have lunch there.
Wow. Okay. Another one, you guys. Take note for that. Italian food in San Sebastián. Drop everything, boys and girls. Come on down.
All right. Also, you'll enjoy it.
All right. So San Sebastián, that's one of them. How about, you got any others?
Yes. When it finished raining, but after the rains, October, November, I take my camera and I love to do 2 roads. Just driving, and San Pancho, the Sayulita, and then San Pancho 5 minutes later.
Yes.
In the north road to Guadalajara.
Yes.
You just get out, you pass Nuevo Vallarta, you pass Bucerias, you pass La Cruz, and then you get to Sayulita, and then San Pancho. It's beautiful, a small town. Just the driving is what I like, because it's a canopy all the road with green trees and jungle and waterfalls. It's so beautiful. And then you get to that little town, which is a lot of Americans living there already, retired. And there's a nice little restaurants. I just go to the beach and have a couple of beers, and then I go back,
Nice.
Just doing photos of the nature. It's so green that I can't believe it.
Well, I have a beautiful picture from you from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
San Pancho,
right?
Yes.
That beach picture. Nice.
Right. Yeah. And then, of course, La Cruz now is getting very famous because they opened the marina, La Cruz de Guanacaste, which is in the midway from here to San Pancho, right in the middle. Okay. And it's nice because they do around the marina a lot of restaurants, boutiques. It's very nice, modern.
Neat.
But it's nice if you want a tour over there. It's a nice small town. Fisherman's town. It was until 20 years. Now it's tourists. Right. But they still have the fishermen there. So they have a lot of good fish. You can buy fish to cook at your house. I mean, it's very nice. Sure. Or go to the restaurants they put there, which are very nice. Oyster bars and stuff.
So those are like palapa restaurants that are on the beach kind of set up?
No.
What kind of restaurants are you talking about?
Nice restaurants on the marina and on the malecon of the marina. I'm looking at the boats. Very nice.
Okay.
Good.
So that is La Cruz.
La Cruz de Guanacaste, which is like 5 minutes from Buceria. So
so
you can do the touring. You can also do that touring one day. That's.
Yeah. All right. So do you have and you don't really have a favorite restaurant there? You just kind of
In La Cruz, yes, but it's not in Marina. It's in town.
Yeah.
It's called Columba.
Columba. Okay.
Columba. Columba.
Okay.
Also,
And what do they serve?
seafood, fresh. The owner has a boat, and they go every morning to pick the stuff, and they cook it. So you are sure you're having the day's catch. Absolutely delicious. Titis is my favorite, number one.
Right.
In that, and Columba could be my second if it's a seafood, well seasoned, not highly priced.
Uh-huh.
The place is nothing, but the food is delicious.
All right. So you're not going there for atmosphere. You're going to eat.
Exactly. Same as Titis. You just go to eat.
Right. So don't be expecting the beauty of Café de Artistas or, or the view of
Palapa.
Yeah.
No.
Not going to get that.
No.
But what you are going to get is authentic, good Mexican seafood.
Right. And well priced. Very nice.
Wonderful.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Any other spots that we're missing?
Well, I miss one. The Bucerias, if you don't want to go in the night to dinner at Mark's Bar and Grill, or if you are staying at Bucerias in the day, I don't know if it's still open. I guess it is. It's Italian called Mezzogiorno. They open in the morning as a beach club, and then lunch and dinner So it's another option. So it's good food, Mediterranean. It's nice. And you have a beach club. If you don't want to go in the night, you can just go and spend the morning there, the ocean.
So
and they have nice.
They have it set up where you can kind of lay out on
sure
on lounge chairs and just eat, and they come and serve you, and that's
yes, very nice. It's very nice. In fact, it's expensive for a beach club. Nice dining and nice. Well, you can have some snacks, but very nice snacks, not just hamburgers,
Yeah.
But it's nice, It's an option.
Okay, cool. Now, most of these places you kind of got to get a car to go to. Although, I'll bet you that there are buses actually that do go up there. As a matter of fact,
of course.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of tourists taking the bus. But lots and lots of them.
Yeah, well, we have, we have little lessons on taking a bus here at the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I think it's in episode 4, you guys, so you might want to look for that and, learn how to take the buses and get around in town, and that way you can avoid having to, rent a car, which is something that, nobody really wants to do. The hassle of going and picking it up, and then bringing it back, and then having people look it over and say, hey, that little thing wasn't there before, and, right? So, yeah, buses are good.
Yeah, for going to Buceria, it's so close, and it is kind of be folkloric to be a ride in bus of Mexican ride.
Yeah, get with the peeps, hang with the gente, yeah?
Sure, right. Yeah, get some adventure, man.
Right, exactly. All right. So, I have a question. I have one of my listeners sent me an email, and she said, she asked a couple of things. She says she realized that some people that work in Puerto Vallarta, anywhere, I guess in Mexico, there's people that, work and basically live on tips. Like, I know, people that that bag your groceries, at the market. They're not on wages, right? They live on tips, don't they?
Yeah. But you know what they're doing now, at least in Vallarta, in all the supermarkets, they are hiring old people that are retired and they are receiving the tips, so they don't have young guys putting stuff in the bags. There's just old people, their age. So they don't have a salary, but they have a tip every day, and they take their time instead of just thinking they're going to die or something.
You're right.
But yeah, there's no salary. And the restaurants, they have a minimum restaurant. But if you have a good restaurant and you're a waiter in Café des Artistes, man, you can get, believe me, maybe more than you and I do in a week.
Right. Yeah, no, they can, they can make some tips, can't they?
Oh, come on, man. Just the 15% of
So, okay, well, with that in mind, right, the minimum wage, I think, in Mexico is like $4.50 US, I think, per day.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, so that's very low. How is it that your typical Mexican family can make a living? Can make ends meet,
Yeah, I always wonder, but I know, our family's Mexican family is like a beehive. They're all the uncle, the aunts, the grandmother, grandpa, the kid. It's everybody together. So all of them have to work. So maybe between all of them, putting together what they earn, they can make it together. It's like a community, family
Right.
community.
It's like a big
That's
collective.
yeah, because there's no other way. I mean, $5 a day, come on, man.
Right.
Not
Right.
even for one person. So, like the ladies, some guy work in the restaurant, the other guy works in the store, and then the kids may sell chick. I don't know, man. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's one of the problems we have never solved. They said, "Oh, we raised the minimum wage 2 pesos." Come on, man.
Right.
They raised it 2 pesos last time. And what is that? It's just a joke. Really? Come on.
Okay.
But well,
So it's a combined effort, obviously. There's a big family combined effort to get
Yep.
this to go for at least families that, are subsiding on the minimum wage. Okay. All right. Well, I hope that answers her question. I'm sitting here asking you this. I know her name in the back of my head, but I can't remember it. So I'll have to when we talk a little bit later, we'll talk about her. But thanks for that question. And you know what? And this is a note to all of my listeners. If you have any questions, whatever, you know how to do it. You reach out by going to my website, go to the Contact Us page, and send me an email so that I know that you're listening, number one. And number two, I've got I got friends on the ground that can answer those questions like Eduardo here.
Right. Exactly.
Well, Eduardo, I want to thank you very much for
Yep.
joining us. Can you tell my listeners how they can reach you?
Well, you can have my webpage. It's solorsanophoto.com.
I'm going to put it on my website. You don't even have to say any more, Eduardo. All right.
Solorzano. Remember, the second S is a Z. Solorzano.
Solorzano.
Photo. Solorsanophoto.com.
Wonderful. And I do have him, and he's in my links page. You will find his information right there. And, of course, on this particular blog, on the blog post in the show notes for this show, we're definitely going to have Eduardo's information as well. Eduardo, I'm going to see you in a little
Cool,
bit.
man.
It's nice talking
Sure.
with you. Say hi to your lovely wife for me.
You too, man. I hope to meet her and we can go to have titties together.
Aha. All right. Wait till I tell her. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Eduardo. Thanks for joining me.
See you, buddy.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So now you all understand why I just love this guy. He's so much fun. By the way, after the interview, I got an email from Eduardo. He said that he forgot to mention one of his very favorite places in Puerto Vallarta to eat and to have dinner. And that was a restaurant called El Arian. Now, it's pretty funny that he should mention that because I interviewed Carmen Porras, and she's the co-owner of El Arian in the downtown area of Puerto Vallarta, and I plan to have that podcast episode up for you pretty soon. So stay tuned for that episode. Now, Carmen does a couple of cooking classes, and her restaurant is beautiful. The food there is fantastic, and we're going to be joining her, like I said, in just a couple of weeks. Now, I added all the restaurants that Eduardo mentioned to the show notes for this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show, and you can find them at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. The restaurant that Eduardo spoke so glowingly about, Café de Artistas, well, that's an incredible place. That is a real special event kind of a place to go to. How can I describe it? It doesn't really have a view, but the inside is just gorgeous. And there are these glass kind of globes hanging from the ceiling. They have an outdoor kind of a patio area, which is just romantic and beautiful. And they've got this harp player that walks around there, and it's a kind of a portable harp. He moves it around with him, and he sings and plays the harp, and he goes to each and every table while you're there, and it is just so lovely. And he comes up and he asks you, what do you like? You want a fun song? You want something romantic? And this guy's voice is just incredible. And he can play that. He just plays that harp so well. Anyway, it's not about the harp, okay? It's really about the food there. And it is remarkable. So we're going to talk to the chef there one of these days pretty soon. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for listening all the way through. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta. And remember that this is an interactive podcast, as you found out by all the emails that I've read, at the beginning of the show. So remember that I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you are here in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition, my friends. His experience and his on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you do it anyway, right? You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. It costs no more than if you were to use someone else. So just do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And JR is doing some wonderful work on his website. He's added some new pages, so really check it out. Get on down to vallartainfo.com and see what he's got that's new. We'll be talking to him about that in an upcoming episode. Now, once again, if you like this podcast, do like Miss Beloya Ray did, and take a little time and subscribe, and give me a good review on iTunes if you would. I made it really easy for you to do it from my website, and that way you can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. So, thanks to Eduardo Solorzano for coming on and talking with us. And hey, remember, if you need a good photographer to shoot a family portrait while you're on vacation in paradise, email me or Eduardo and put him to work for you. He's great, and his contact information is right here in the show notes for this lucky episode number 13. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler, signing off with a wish for all of you to just slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Solo camino, perno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río, cuando todo está en calma, pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta.